YouTube, this is Tonstat39, and this right here is my little bag of, sorry, not little, my big bag of tricks. Whatever I pull out of my big bag of tricks, I have to review. Well, let's see what we find. Let's see what I have to review. Nope, that's a cord. Oh. Wasn't what I was expecting, but I'm about to review what you're about to see will shock you. As the next game that I'm about to review that was so difficult in the arcades that when it first came out, people were camped around for hours wondering how to play it. In a world where AAA titles could be passed as App Store games, a place where something the size of your fist can be 9,000 times less data than your smartphone. A time when some TV sets were still black and white, but most were in color. A place where you have to have antenna hookups to play your game. You're about to enter the Atari zone. And as you've seen in the previous clip, I was about to review a little game called Defender, and this is a blind review of said game. I've only played this before on emulators back when I didn't have an Atari. Whoa, whoa! Definitely easier than it was in the arcades. I've played the arcade version of this, and the controls are really complicated. It seems easy to control. Use the joystick to move left or right. I don't really know how this works. You know, it was converted pretty good for the arcades. In the arcade, it did all kinds of amazing things. You know, when it exploded, pixels went flying out. But because it's the Atari, and it's very limited, it's doing pretty good for what it is. No! Well, that's one casualty. In Defender, you're trying to protect these people and defend them from foreign invaders. It's all in multiple waves. It's kind of fun. And apparently, I died after 2 minutes. Wonderful. Push reset. Whoa, whoa. I'm accumulating points pretty good. It's hurting my palm, but that's typical of any Atari game. No, I could have saved him. Well, when you're at war, stuff happens. You always want to avoid those flying saucers, because they're the ones that suck up the most. Oh! And those little squares are supposed to represent people. Yes, back in an era when squares could pass as people. App Store games do a similar thing to this, to what you see here. So, today's gaming isn't all about big graphics. Some of them do understand, you know, the nature in having very simplistic graphics. I mean, hey, look at Minecraft. Look at Flappy Bird. All those are games that are simplistic or have simplistic visuals. And they do fine. And they're in an age where 1080p is the standard. Where 1080p and deep narratives are the standard. This was a time when this is what the pinnacle of gaming was. Right here. We have progressed long since this game came out in '81. I played the arcade version. It was very hard, had a lot of complicated controls, but what I think is good about the Atari version is because there's only one button. There aren't really any complicated controls to do with. Just move and shoot. Simple as that. Why was it so hard in the arcade version, you ask? Well, because the guy who made it was under the philosophy that if the game isn't kicking your ass the first time you play it, then it's not doing its job. But unfortunately made the game kind of not very user friendly. But this one did a very good version, and I recommend you get this. I got this at Level Up for $1.65 just today as I recorded it. As you saw, me and that bag of tricks were purchases I got from said video game store, and this is Tonstead39, signing out.